Everyone in this movie has his own nickname, but you don't have one.
I know. Do you want to give me one?
No, I want to ask you, if you had to choose your own nickname, what would it be and why? One of the things that I like the most about this movie was the relationship between Rooster and Maverick. The relationship is extremely intense because there is some resentment for your character, but in the end, I think he feels a lot of respect, and even he sees Maverick as his father. So I want to ask you, what do you think was the most interesting thing you found about Rooster, or what struck you the most about him?
Well, I think when people watch the trailer for this movie and they see oh, Rooster's mad at Maverick, it must be because his dad died training with him, and that's not what it is at all. So I was really interested in kind of exploring everything that would have happened in between, the first movie and this movie, and time doesn't necessarily heal all wounds. I think these guys have some things they need to work through, and I think that tension is what makes for a really great experience.
Hi Jennifer, how
Hi,
are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very excited to talk with you. Well, throughout the movie, we see the enormous journey of Maverick has to travel in this adventure, but I think that Penny is very important because she's one of his main motivations to change and have a very normal life. Despite the fact that they both have a complicated relationship and an old relationship, even deep down, they want to be together. So I want to ask you, what do you think about it? What do you like the most about Penny?
I like her spirit, that she is, I think an intrinsically happy person. I think that she's someone who wants to live a full and rich life and pursues adventures. I think she's very warm and caring as a person. She cares deeply about him. You can see she cares deeply about her daughter. But also she's really independent and strong.
Anything happens to them.
Well, all over your career, you're working in a lot of great projects, but now you're in Top Gun Maverick to play the Beast Armor Cyclone. And I think he's important for this movie because he's the counterweight between the ideas and ways to teaching of Maverick. So I want to ask you, what was it that convinced you to work in this movie, and what do you think was the biggest challenge playing Cyclone?
Well, you're right. I think that my character is very much a counterpoint to Tom's point of view. And the challenges were to sort of make sure that his point of view is represented and carries the same amount of weight as Tom's, as Maverick's. It was very exciting to be in scenes with Tom Cruise. I've looked up to this man for 40 years. I've been a fan of his. I've watched his career. I've seen every single movie he's ever been in, and like a lot of people, he's a movie star. That's there aren't very many of those left. And he's been a movie star for 40 some odd years. So it was tremendously exciting to be able to share a screen with him.
If you have something left to offer the Navy, what that is, I can't imagine.
With all due respect, sir, I'm not a teacher.
I was watching some videos of the training that you took for the movie, and I want to congratulate you because it seems quite complicated because besides acting, you had to learn to direct yourself on planes. So I want to ask you, what was this experience for you flying in the F-18s, and what was the best and the worst of this training?
It was
a really great training program because by the time we got into the F-18s, we did all these other planes. We did all of this work to become comfortable. So by the time we got in the F-18s, we were in the perfect position to be able to now focus on acting, sort of directing ourselves, yes, dealing with like props and sound and rolling the cameras. There was always so much to think about, but that took just extreme specificity in every step of the training.
What do we have here?
God, here I thought we were special.
Fellas, this here's Bagman.
Hangman.
Whatever.
What the hell kind of mission is this?
I know you have a strong connection to the military, and even you have played service members. But how does it feel to be part of a franchise that in some way reflect the lives of these men and women that we oftentimes don't imagine what happened in his life?
Well, I think that the men and women who put on the uniform, I think that they sacrifice so much. It really is very, very difficult, and I've had an opportunity to portray these men and women before, and it's something that I have an immense amount of respect for. I think that it's something that you should feel indebted to the people who are doing that, to protect and to serve. And I also love the selflessness of that job. I think it's just really noble, and so I've always enjoyed the challenge of wanting to portray them.
My dad believed in you. I'm not gonna make the same mistake.
In 1986, when Top Gun came out, you were already making a great movies like Labyrinth, and now you're part of this beloved franchise that we want to see back again in the big screen. But what does appearing in Top Gun Maverick mean to you as an actress personally?
I'm aware of what the movie means to so many fans, and it was such an important movie in Tom's career and in Jerry's career. So I was very flattered that they wanted me to be part of it. I feel very grateful to be part of it. I've had an amazing time working on it. Yeah, I felt very beholden to the fans and to the filmmakers, when I was working on it.
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell. Let me be perfectly blunt. You are not my first choice.
Well, this movie is entertaining, has a lot of action, shocking moments, and even funny moments, and a lot of tension, but also I think it's a story about forgetting the past and focus on this time. So what do you think was the greatest lesson of satisfaction that working on this movie has left you?
Well, it does. It does teach a lot of lessons. I think that's the strange thing about an action film, ostensibly, that has this sort of incredible emotional core to it. And part of it is what you said, sort of like there's a wonderful scene in the middle of the movie that's basically about letting go of the past, and you can only move forward if you let go of the past, and you have to cut the anchor loose. And I think that's a good lesson for anybody. And I think especially as we are sort of moving out of pandemic and lockdown and all of the craziness of the last few years, I think we can hopefully look forward optimistically, and I think that this movie is a really good way to do that. Get back in the theaters and go back to the movies and remember what the movies used to mean. They used to mean, something, looking forward to something, an exciting future, and what all that represents.
I mean, this movie took so much effort, really, by everybody, and I think that's just what we've all taken away from this experience now, is that we know we've all been in movies and stuff before, but being a part of a Tom Cruise project is a whole different thing, and it takes a lot of work. And I think what I've realized is just there's always something more to be done, and if you can make something a little better, do it, because film is forever. And at the end of the day, nobody knows how much work you put in. They just see the end result. But we all know now, like, there's a reason why Tom has been at the top for so long. It doesn't happen by accident.
The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Top Gun is one of the most important movies of the 80s. The story, references, and even the soundtrack are very iconic. And now you're part of this franchise. So I want to ask you, what was your first approach to Top Gun? Do you remember what was the first time you see the original movie?
Sí, bueno, vi la película por la primera vez el segundo año cuando estaba en la universidad y pensé, bueno, la vi muy tarde porque si la hubiera visto a los 10 años creo que hubiera sido piloto. Pero cuando la vi pensé, si hay una segunda película, me encantaría ser parte de eso en cualquier forma, especialmente si hay espacio por alguien latino en la película, también me encantaba esa idea. Entonces cuando pasó, ya habían pasado como 5 años después de eso, que vi la audición y pensé, ¿sabes qué? Manifesté todo esto yo. Pero no, es un privilegio ser parte de algo que cambió la cultura de la fábrica y la textura de los 80s, y hasta ver que mi papá y mi mamá tenían Ray-Bans. Eso nada más pasó porque esta película como creó una ola de emoción durante el tiempo que salió originalmente.
I was 15 years old when the first Top Gun came out, so I was right in the target demographic of who should be seeing this film. But I just remember every single one of my friends saw it. Everybody loved it. We all wanted to see it again. It was exhilarating and exciting and cool. We all wanted to be Maverick or Iceman or any of the guys in it. It was everything that the movies were back then, and it's everything that the movies can be again. I think, again, with the events of the last 2 years and how we were all sort of separated from one another, and I think that had a really weird effect on people. And I think that coming out of that now, and the ability to come back together and watch something in a movie theater, a big bright screen and big loud sound, I think will be healing for a lot of people. I don't know, I think it's an exciting opportunity.
Everyone in this movie has his own nickname, but you don't have one.
I know, do you want to give me one?
No, I want to ask you, if you had to choose your own nickname, what would it be and why?
I think it's more fun when someone else picks your nickname. I did have one once in college. I had a nickname which was Death Grip, which was because had walked on to the running team in college with not enough skill or training. I was the slowest runner, but I was very, very determined to try and keep up with the pack. I think, in fairness, they never let me compete. I think I was more of a mascot and kind of an example to the more skilled runners. So that was what they called me, Death Grip.
Well, the funny thing about call signs is that you don't actually choose your own call sign. It's based on something embarrassing you did that your friends will never let you live down. or having funny looks, or or looking like someone else.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We have to come up with some ways to roast each other today.
I know what Jay would say.
What? Who would say?
I'm not gonna say it.
What? Who would say?
No, Jay.
What Jay would say?
I know his call signs for us, possibly.
Oh.
Yeah. But I don't want to put him out there. But I'll tell you later.
You should. He will put you out there in a minute.
I know. No, but the only one that I'm remembering is the one I did for you.
Oh,
He'd
Gus?
tell you, no.
Oh, he had another bus?
Yeah.
Well, he's gas.
He's gas. Oh my God, nice. Well, there you go,
This
Jay.
is how we do it.
Yeah,
This is how we do it. No, he's
yeah.
Cheeks.
He's Cheeks. Oh, true. Cheeks, bus. I don't know what I'd be. I
don't know. He really earned his call sign fanboy because he showed up so enthusiastic. He was so hyped just
Happy
to get
to
to
be
work.
here.
Yeah, he was such a fan of the first one. Manifested this opportunity. All of those things. He was so enthusiastic, and that was really, I think, something that helped all of us too, like in the hard times. Like I feel like you were just so pumped, and we were like, yeah, this is an awesome opportunity. Everything about this is perfect. Like,
well, I had to
enjoy
say
it.
that because of how afraid I was of flying in the beginning. So I had to.
You were overcompensating.
Yeah. I had to trick myself into being like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, right? Yeah, wow, flying. Yeah.
The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir. But not today.